Let's talk about the one that is really controversial right now, actually trending, which is that about the Southwestern Regional Security, specifically tagged Operation Amotekun. In your opinion, is it what the Southwest really needs? And looking at what the Attorney General of the Federation has said about it being illegal, what are your concerns and what exactly are your reactions?
Actually, I just point to the fact that the Southwest are still relevant in the country politics and decision making. Such security outfit has been operating in the North before now, and there has never been an eyebrow because we all acknowledge the fact that they are troubled and they should have their local security to complement the police and the military and whatever they are doing. That shows the sincerity of our hearts. We still believe in their leadership in governing Nigeria because we know that the president is from the North. So when we set up our own security outfit, when we are being troubled, for them to have now call it illegal, promulgate it, it's a thing of apprehension to us. But it still points to the fact that Nigeria as a country has some kind of a divisive way of governing people. Some people are giving preference than the others. But I think they got it wrong. The Amotekun is not meant to victimize other regions. I think the review, because presently I want to thank the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò for giving me the most highest warrior position in Yoruba land, which is Jagun Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. You all watch my coronation, and I think my coming in, we are going to review the Amotekun. We cannot prescribe Amotekun. We will review it for people to understand what Amotekun stands for. Amotekun is to secure the lands, the Southwest, and everybody, including Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo that lives there, must be secure equally. There will be amelioration in times of crisis, and we can easily understand ourselves because it's an insult for us after constituting Amotekun for any region to die in our land. If it's an Igbo, it's an insult. And in fact, it's humiliating for this region. If it's an Hausa man, it's humiliating as well. So because putting that behind our mind, the Amotekun is a security outfit for all Nigeria on Yoruba lands. So it's not a narrowly one-sectional protection against other regions. And that's why I'm thanking God that I'm giving such the highest warrior position, because if it is somebody else, he can use it to wage war against other regions. I'm going to look for peace, come to reference points for people to understand that the security of life and property are very, very important. And it's for all that lives and reside on Yoruba land. So Amotekun is going to be reviewed towards the security apparatus to secure, defend everybody, irrespective of which tribe you come from. And if there is any crisis, we'll be able to ameliorate and we complement the security apparatus of the land. With that, it won't be a sectional thing. In fact, I, as a person, Jagun, I'm going to put up a paper and books. It's not going to be limited to only Yoruba that will be employed in Amotekun. Other regions too, because they have been living. The essence of Nigeria is for us to interwoven. So Amotekun is a security apparatus for Southwest. At the same time, there will be other regions that will be employed. An Hausa person will be employed, Igbo will be employed into Amotekun, so that it can have a national face towards securing people in our own land, in our soil. And that should be the aim of Amotekun. It's not to narrowly wage war against other regions or to victimize them for living or doing business on Odua soil.
Okay, let's talk about other issues now in the Southwest. Now, specifically, there's been a lot of clamor, for 2023, and I know you have a particular forum, the NRUF, and the championing the cause of the Ashwaju. But specifically, in your opinion, do you think the Southwest is actually united, to forge a common front vis-a-vis taking over 2023? And because somewhere you said that if the ABC zones down to the Southeast, that they would not win the election in 2023.
Exactly, we all know it's not about we Southwest alone. You see, people, this is colonial mentality, thinking that any region will be talking about their region. We are talking of the unity of this country, which is sacrosanct. So our movement, Nigerian Reformation Unity Forum, is a movement for power rotation. For Nigeria to be united, the only factor remaining for the unity of this country is power rotation. Now that constitution tried the president to take anybody who he feels so capable in serving him. So all this federal character, whatever, is not actually backed by constitution, and anybody can dissuade it in terms of appointment and what have you. So if that it is the case, we find out the only factor remaining is power rotation. Otherwise, everybody will feel depressed and walk away on the project Nigeria. So if you want to sustain that, we have to understand that power rotation is sacrosanct. And if it's sacrosanct, it's now the responsibility of the whole Nigeria. And that's why we set up a movement, Nigerian Unity Forum. This movement is not about the Southwest alone. It's about reason that now, if President Muhammadu Buhari is expiring the Northern region term, and is expiring your own term too, the power must rotate to South. And when power rotate to South, we Southerners now look, this power rotation we're talking about is only meant for the ruling party. When PDP was there, it's meant for them, not for APC. Now APC is the ruling party. They must uphold it, because once they have done 8 years, the power will rotate to the other region. So in APC is where we are saying power rotation is sacrosanct. Other political parties can do as they wish. So if that is the case, because they have the power of incumbency and they have the presidency, who can do and undo and influence the election and what have you towards what he wants. So in order to unite Nigeria, everybody looking at the ruling party as giving a free and fair election and be fair to all regions. So that's why we are saying APC must honor power rotation. Even the military in 1998 honor it. That's why they say Southwest should start, because MK Abiola lost power and they know they can't take power to other regions, there will be a problem. So if they cannot honor that, this time around, APC must. And year 2023 is our next level that we are saying, from transcending from one president in APC to another, just the way PDP do their own in 16 years. It was when it comes to after the 8 years, they started coming with impunity and what have you. Jonathan did not honor power rotation. You see the result of what happened to them. So what we are saying now is, because the APC, which is a ruling party, has no prevalence, no presence in Southeast. Out of the 5 governors of Southeast, as at yesterday until the Supreme Judgment, there was none was APC. But after the Supreme Judgment now, Imo was given back to APC, which is 1 out of 5. So if you zone presidency as a ruling party to Southeast, who is going to vote for you?
In keeping with this, now, what would you just said that the APC does not really have so much, state
relevance
in the Southeast.
Yes.
What would your forum right now do to actually change that particular narrative that vis-a-vis looking at 2024?
That's what we're trying to do. That's why we set up the movement. A movement for the whole Nigeria to correct the wrong of our constitution and the wrong of the yesterday past leaders. So that's why the movement is being inaugurated. And what we are trying to do, we have inaugurated Southwest, we have inaugurated Northwest. The next is Southeast. If you have abandoned them, we will have gone to another region. So the next is Southeast, and we have our crowd ready, waiting for us. They are so ripe, waiting for us. So what we are trying to do is to bring back the unity of Nigeria, using politics to solve our problem, so that the Southeast will catch in to the future of Nigeria, so that nobody can relegate them to the back. So immediately they catch in with this movement. After Tinubu, definitely power will rotate to North. Then the next is the Southeast. By that time, they will have voted, they will have presence and what have you. And this is what we are saying. So if APC want to continue ruling, they cannot zone their presidency to Southeast at this time and win that election. So if they zone it to Southwest, where they have relevance, out of the 6 governors, we have 5 in Southwest. So we need to just catch in with other members of the other region who have always had faith in us, because we have given them the faith during the time of President Muhammadu Buhari. Because 2 people who defeated the incumbent is President Muhammadu Buhari representing the North, Bola Ahmed representing the South, including the Southeast and South-South. Tinubu represent them at that arrangement, and they both defeated the incumbents. So if Buhari have turned his own time to build on the gain of APC through the anti-corruption crusade and what have you, is to allow Tinubu, who saw the same vision too, who have the antecedents of not being tribalistic and a national outlook, to rule. and bring development. So our next level is 2023, where development will now come so that we can build on the gain of the democracy that we achieve. And nobody, sincerely, I will confess to you, Southeast is long overdue for presidency, but power is not served a la carte. You have to be put in a vantage position and position that you want to wrestle power. Even as at now, when we started our movement, people were criticizing us. Why we say Nigeria Unity Forum and we are still talking about Tinubu? He has to come with tag. Otherwise, other regions will feel suspicious. It will be like we want to defraud them. If power is rotated and we don't have the name tag, we can give it to somebody that is questionable, and they will feel suspicious of our movement. So let the South too set up a movement if they are genuine. Let them come with the name tag. Who actually are they willing to give presidency to? Let them first of all come together and solve this, their problem. But I believe it's their allies, just like the Southwest allies and the Northwest and North region allies too. So we are putting them behind because they are all at the boarding pass. So Nigeria is for tomorrow of the youth, and that's why this movement is for the youth. And the youth are ready, and we are so resolute and united. Presently, there is a football match going on in Karu local government in Zamfara in honor of my coronation as Jagun Are Ona Kakanfo. The Arewa Youth Consultative Forum too are giving me on February 8th in Abuja there an award from Arewa, showing you that people are keen to what we are saying about the unity of Nigeria. So let people come with the name tag of who they are intending to give presidency. And because, let's be realistic, unless we want to put sentiment or whatever, Tinubu is most qualified at this time. Out of the 36 state governor in 1998, he's the only one man standing. He didn't contest for Senate, neither go for ministerial appointment. He was waiting for the turn of the South to become president. And when he was a governor, he was able to appoint both Hausa man and Igbo man as a commissioner. It's a reward system. He never knew today is going to come. He has been doing his job, mobilizing people, building bridges around the nation, creating friendship here and there, and going about to unite Nigeria. So this is a reward system. And any governor that have ruled Lagos, you know Lagos is a mini Nigeria. It has all the tribes here. All the 36 states of the Federation lives in Lagos, an international community. So if anybody have ruled Lagos for 8 years, that person is capable in ruling Nigeria. And based on his antecedents, his past experience, during Nadeko, during Abiola, and what have you, he's been around for some time. Okay. I think we don't want try and error this time around.
Okay, quickly before, as we round off on this session, in your opinion, because a lot of people are saying that in as much as there's been several fora where the South-West have been pushed, forward to handle 2023, in your opinion, do you think the Southwest, as in their elites, their Yoruba elders, actually united, to speak with one voice? And then again, the second question would be, you talked about taking your forum to the Southeast. When exactly is this coming on board?
Okay, I will take it from the last question. It's coming on the March. We are proposing tentatively March. Second or third week in March, we'll be going to the Southeast, and you see the crowd. You'll be the living witness of what I'm talking about, for you to see the acceptability of Nigeria to be won, because nobody won war, okay? We want peace, and we want to achieve our aim using political solution to solve Nigeria problem. But when you talk about the Southwest coming together and whatever, most of the visible factors that are being played out is a colonial mentality. You people should ask yourself, when was Buhari become the president? In 2015, where was he? He was a lone ranger like us too, a wayfarer on the streets, frustrated, shouting up and down. Today, the president is keeping trust based on condition as the one that Nigeria has been handed over to. He hasn't been a role player from the past. And look at all the presidents. Obasanjo is winning now. He's wailing up and down. So the colonial master who gave us independence have systematically hijacked our leadership. So the benefit of Nigeria since 1960, over $300 trillion that we have gained from the oil sales, is in London, UK, is in Germany, is in Dubai. So they continue using our leaders. They have hijacked our leadership. And they only come every 8 or 4 years, depending on what factor that is suitable. So they are even not aware of our movement now of uniting Nigeria. So what they use is to use divide and rule when election comes and start playing divisive game against Nigerians to bring in their own prescribed leaders. When Obasanjo was called in 1999, it was Bola Ige that Yoruba voted for. If truly you zone the presidency to us, we are allowed to choose our leaders. So they prescribed Obasanjo from all. They started maneuvering and killing all the leadership of Yoruba. If not for Tinubu, that raised all those people that Obasanjo killed in Yoruba nation. Today they are all ministers, they are all senators and what have you, and Yoruba are now back in that line so that we can be talking of wanting to take presidency. And that's what is affecting the Igbos. Igbos are being given prescribed leaders. It's not your leader that you choose. And that's why it is very difficult for you to line up behind one person. And that's what this movement is going to do. We're going to come out with political solution. We have political reform we are looking into. And these are the reforms that we want to compel INEC to have an application so that anybody that go beyond 18 years can easily register online. And once you register, they only have designated center for data captioning and what have you. It's as simple as ABC. Why are they differentializing people? Is to rig, is to install leaders on us. Prescribed never. People are being frustrated from registering. So we want to compel INEC to have an application, and that application too will reduce a lot of things. Look at what is happening with all these Supreme Courts, wherever. When the INEC still collect money from politicians and bribe and what have you and give results, the Supreme too collect money from government and give them results. You find out that Nigerian system are always flawed in every form. Look at the Supreme government coming. The lawyers are fat, are going to bank. Go and check their. Let them probe it. Let them have independent probing system and check all those the judges if they have been living within their salary. So this is what we are saying. It is wrong. So when you see things like that, because systematic corruption, you cannot solve it until you use technology. So if INEC can go online and go into his system, this issue of bringing copper and killing them for collation center for election does not need it. Look at UK now. They do election. Nobody knows until you start hearing the result. So business can be going. They will just open the portal for 8 hours on Saturday. Everybody will vote for a candidate of themselves. They will have collated, you just start hearing results. Only the political member will follow the result and what have you. And if there is any hijacking of the system, we can still detect because it's a computer. But when you now have to bring copper to the polling unit, get about 20 people to a polling center, including the police, the INEC people, you spend so much money, you have to legislate certain amount of money to conduct election on this nation. And some people are stealing it into billions that can be used for development. And upon none, the election is not even merited. Despite spending so much, you can imagine what the budget of the last INEC, 40-something billion, what have you. That money can go a long way. What is the merit of the election that conducted? So why are we now running away in this global world where technology is there? A fingerprint on a phone can bring in all the political party on the home button of your phone, and you can just click on the one you want to vote for, and they can verify through your data capturing and your whatever. We'll have a record system, and that enough can solve most of the killing, most of this rigging, most of the ungenuine leader. Because once you have a true leader